JavaScript code without semicolons is wrong and broken. This is not my opinion, this is from the official documentation. However, JavaScript works perfectly fine even without semicolons. Why? The answer is that JavaScript has a feature called ASI, which stands for Automatic Semicolon Insertion. ASI is extremely simple. If we don't write a semicolon, JavaScript will write one for us. It's a bit more complex in practice, but it doesn't really matter here. The important thing to know is that ASI works most of the times. And that's the problem. It works most of the times, but not all of the times. There are 4 very specific cases where ASI will not be able to add a semicolon. I will show you these 4 cases right now, and don't worry if they are not very clear. I just want you to see them because this is what people argue about. ASI will fail when a line without semicolon is followed by a line that begins with one of these symbols, when we skip a semicolon in the parentheses of a for loop, when we write 2 statements in the same line, and finally, after a loop without body. Some people say that we should always write semicolons because that way we don't have to worry about ASI failing. Other people say that we should never worry about ASI because the truth is, in reality, the cases where ASI fails are extremely rare. When people argue about semicolons, there are a few extra arguments that come up, and I will show them to you for completeness. Semicolons are used in most programming languages, so we should stick to what's popular and use semicolons in JavaScript too. Semicolons are just extra stuff on the screen, and they make code look ugly. Semicolon might lead us to write multiple statements on the same line, which is a bad coding practice. And finally, big companies like Google, Airbnb and WordPress require the use of semicolons, although in recent years some projects like NPM or Vue.js have moved away from semicolons. So, this is what people say. Should you use semicolons? The answer is that technically, yes, you should use semicolons, because this is what the documentation says. However, if you don't write them, you'll be perfectly fine. The important thing is that once you pick a style, you stick with it. The only real mistake you can make is to use semicolons here and there and rely on ASI everywhere else. Now, be careful. ASI is always running, even when we write all the semicolons. The result is that ASI can cause 3 very specific bugs that are really hard to understand if you don't know what's going on. So I highly recommend you to watch this video I made where I will show you exactly what these 3 bugs look like and how to solve them. Leave a like if you learned something. I'm Jay. Bye.